back, week 3. Now, I think what I'm going to say today is going to be a little bit surprising. Maybe, I don't know, maybe y'all know all this. I'm not trying to sell you short, but in terms of nutrition, this is such a big topic, right? And here's the biggest thing I want you to know. It's different strokes for different folks. No two people have the same nutritional needs. And so here's kind of the first little thing is just because you see something on social media or hear something from like an expert on a podcast and you know how they eat doesn't mean that that's going to be best for your body. So here's how I tend to think about food when it comes to, because I see a lot of women in my practice who struggle with belly bloat and constipation, and their bodies hold on to weight, even though they're like, you know, again, doing all the things, the exercise and the clean eating, and struggling with anxiety and brain fog and like just busy brains. And it's interesting when we think about our days, everybody's very busy. We tend to like blow through our fuel resources very early in the day. And so I always think of food and nutrition more through the lens as like nourishment. Like, how do I need to nourish myself today? Right. And I think of food as fuel. It's literally like putting gas in the car. You got to have gas to get somewhere. And so I find that, especially if there's any history of disordered eating and or eating disorders, this is really tender territory. And we start to view food and nutrition through the lens of nourishment and fueling. It sort of changes. It's like there's an energy shift. And as somebody, again, admitting my vulnerabilities here, as somebody who has struggled with body image issues almost for the bulk of my like younger and early adulthood, this was really an area where I felt like I had to restrict. It was like I wasn't allowed to give myself anything that was like tasty, right? I had to stay in this like rigid linear kind of approach. And as it turned out, that actually drove kind of my clean eating, drove my fatigue and my anxiety. And I was like, oh. And so in hindsight, I wasn't fueling my body enough. And I wasn't, my eating habits were very much reflective of when it was convenient for me to eat, which I would struggle with, that 11 a.m. dip. It's like suddenly I could barely like work with clients at that point because I was so like hungry and kind of just exhausted. And then again at 2 p.m. And as it turns out, I needed a lot of blood sugar regulation and blood sugar management because my blood sugars were plummeting, even though I ate very, very well. So with fueling and nourishing yourself, you have to kind of match kind of that fuel load with your kind of output, right? How much are you moving your body? How much are you thinking? How much are you engaging with people? And what it all boils down to is really blood, if I could talk, blood sugar regulation is key. And fun fact, your brain is one of the only muscles that does not store glucose. So your brain literally needs fuel, like quite a bit of it. But also slowing down to chew your food. Like how many of us like, you know, are eating over lunch and like typing and talking and we're multitasking, or we're eating standing up in the kitchen. You know, sitting down and chewing food and actually eating in a relaxed environment is such a key piece to mental health, to physical health, to digestion. So I want you to know it's not always what you eat, it's also when and how, right? And so like eating for your day and fueling your day well. And this is also why sometimes fasting doesn't work for everybody. I know fasting is kind of a topic that's in the news and in podcasts and books, but again, based on the kind of the state of your nervous system and how much energy output is going there, it takes a lot of energy for your nervous system to be in that fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. It's always kind of like burning through fuel, and then it wants to like hug onto fuel because it's like, oh, we might need some more later. This is why our bodies store fat when we're in this kind of like overdrive mode, right? So really with nutrition, it's about nourishing your body, nourishing your energy, nourishing your mind for the match that it needs, right? For the energetic match. And I love this work. It's really cool because again, no 2 days are the same for a lot of people. So it takes a very personalized approach to make sure that you're getting what you need and that it tastes good and it feels good and that it is good. And that way it makes it more sustainable. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video and stay tuned. Next week, we're talking all about movement and exercise. Stay tuned.